This is our 1 3/4 fire hose, fire line. This is going to be our new spec. It's made by Key Hose. It is the Combat Sniper Spec. The Combat Sniper is a 1 3/4 hose with a true diameter of 1.78 of an inch. It's designed for use with low pressure nozzles, providing that high volume. And when I say low pressure, what I'm talking about is our 50 PSI nozzles. The idea is to provide that low pressure so there's less nozzle reaction, so it makes it a little easier for the firefighters to water map, move the hose around without getting too fatigued. It is designed with the thought that it will provide less kinks, so it's a little more kink resistant compared to your nylon hose. The Combat Sniper 1 3/4, we have two 200-foot cross lays. We have a 250-foot dead lay and a 100-foot hotel pack. When looking at the hose chart, there's going to be friction loss that's accounted for. Keep in mind that our hose chart is rounded to the nearest 5, so we're not going for an accurate but a more quick and easy way to think about your friction loss will be in increments of 5. For our 200-foot cross lay, it's going to be pumped at 110 PSI. For your 250, it's going to be pumped at 125. Next, we're going to go over our new spec of 2.5, also through Key Hose manufacturer, and that's going to be our Tru-ID or the Tru 2.5. Once again, this is designed for low pressure nozzles, 50 PSI, providing that high volume. With the Tru-ID, it is true to its internal diameter. What does that mean? Compared to your traditional hose lines, when they made the 2.5 hose, a lot of times the true diameter was actually not 2.5, maybe it was closer to a 3-inch. What does that do? The wider that diameter gets, the more water it has inside of the hose, making it a lot heavier. So by making it a true diameter of 2.5 inches, it has greatly reduced the weight for firefighter operations. This hose is going to be identified by the tan color with the stripe down the middle, which is red and green. For pumping operations, friction loss, obviously a large caliber attack line is going to have less friction loss. We'll look at the chart. For an example, would be your foot section matched with the smooth bore 1/8 tip. The friction loss you're going to see is 65 PSI at the pump discharge. All right, we're going to now talk about our newest spec to the department, and that's going to be our 2 1/4 high-rise extension and large caliber attack line. What is the 2 1/4? So it is similar to our 2.5. It's just a little bit smaller. What it does is when paired with a smooth bore 1 1/8 tip and bail, it provides the same GPM that a 2.5 attack line can provide, and which is 266. What is the benefit? So the benefit of the 2 1/4 is it now has a smaller diameter, meaning it's easier for firefighters to hold on to grip, to move around, water map, provide that fire attack. It also is it weighs a lot less. What does that mean? So anytime you take a 50-foot stick of the 2 1/4, you charge it with water, it's going to be approximately 20 pounds less. So it makes it a lot easier for firefighters to advance into the building and to provide that fire suppression. The hose is identified as green. It's going to have that same stripe as the 2.5, which is going to be down the middle. It's red and green. So a couple notes. 2 1/4 should only be used for fire attack operations. Refer to our adults mnemonic when to deploy the 2 1/4. 2 1/4 should not be for water supply operations. When we look at the pump chart, we can see that it's very similar to friction loss compared to the 2.5. If you take a 100-foot section, we're going to pump this at 70 psi. So now we're going to talk about our new spec of nozzles for our 1 3/4 lines. Through testing with the manufacturer, having the department set up some time to kind of see what works best for us. What we decided to go with was the Elkhart Brass XD shutoff, along with the 7/8 smoothbore and the XD Chief fog nozzle. This is the 1.5 XD shutoff with the ball valve and the 1 3/8 waterway. The 1.5 XD shutoff will pair with either a smoothbore tip or the fog tip. Okay, this gives us different options and allows us to extend off the tip. If at any point we stretch a hose line, we're not close enough to the fire, at that point you can take your hotel pack, add it to the tip of the shutoff, and extend from that point on. Both the 7/8 smoothbore tip and the Chief XD fog nozzle are designed to provide 160 GPMs at 50 PSI. These are fixed GPM nozzles. What does that mean? So compared to our old TFT nozzles, which were automatic, fixed means that it's always going to provide that 160 GPMs when pumped at the correct calculation. Compared to an automatic nozzle, if it's underpumped or if, let's say, there's too many kinks in the hose line, the automatic will adjust the stream. So what does this do? It does provide our firefighters with a little more feedback. So if their nozzle stream doesn't look like it's strong enough, has far enough reach or penetration, this can key them into letting the pump operator know, letting their captain know at that point that they need to wash out some of the kinks, or the hose line needs to have a little more pressure on the engine side to provide a better hose stream at that point.